The same thing's going to happen with flying vehicles, where they're going to have charging facilities that's the appropriate charging facilities, because they're not all the same. It's not like a Tesla charger kind of thing. It's a little different, but those are being set up. I mean, Beta Technologies company here, they're setting up charging stations all over the East Coast of the United States right now. Just the electricity. So when you look at a vertiport, it has to have the right electrical infrastructure near the vertiport to be able to support the charging. I mean, as silly as little as that sounds, that could cause a vertiport not to be able to exist. Or it requires the city or the community to do a rewiring of its electric infrastructure. Then when you land, how do you get to where you're going? Is there an Uber infrastructure or Lyft infrastructure built around that or not? What happens if there's a terrible weather condition when you land and you can't get away? Can you be stuck there? Like in an airport, you can survive overnight in an airport. Can you survive overnight in a vertiport? I mean, these are all questions that have to be answered by wherever they're going to put one of these things. So the
Absolutely.
point is, there are a lot of moving pieces.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a big ecosystem. It just turns into a huge project, not just like, okay, one party just does one thing, the vertiports do one thing, the navigation system does one thing, and then you've mentioned the servicing, the ground handling, and the airline just do the other. It just becomes the whole cycle of things, just like aviation is, but it's less complex, as if you've noted. It's just there is no precedent to making it happen. But Chuck, you've mentioned two things that about the airlines operating the fleets of the air taxis potentially. Do you see this as the extension of their route planning, or is this just an additional service that they will provide to their VIP passengers or the business class passengers? How do you see the evolvement of the network planning by done by airlines with the integration of these fleets?
It won't replace a route, A to A, for example. I mean, it can't replace that, because these are designed for distances that are too long to drive and too short to fly. So the logical start is airport to airport, but there'd be airport to airport that they don't do right now. So that would be a new flight, but something that an airplane wouldn't really do, because these things they only go a few thousand feet. It's almost like a slingshot kind of thing.
Yeah, so for example, like connecting to Gatwick Airport, right now, if you are flying to Heathrow, you just can't connect. You have to check out and then check back in. It's not a connection. So this can become more like a connecting flight, where you have a connection and a hop off to another airport, right? You don't
Yeah,
even
the
have to
idea
go
of
through
changing
security.
airports, right, like London to Gatwick is a pain, as you know.
It is.
But if this was shuttling back and forth every 10 or 15 minutes, it's a wholly different thing.